Today on DC News Now.
Some showers have been working their way across the DMV. We'll let you know if and when we see any storms this afternoon.
If you live in the district, you may need to boil your water before you drink it. What you need to know. An exclusive poll showing Maryland's tightly contested Senate race, where each candidate stands ahead of next week's primary.
Fencing around George Washington University after police clear out the pro-Palestine encampment here. Now the new measures to protect the upcoming commencement ceremonies.
And with summer right around the corner, we're looking into suggestions for a fun family day. We've got parenting hacks that'll stretch your dollar.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. The DMV first warn day warning for today has been dropped. Meteorologist Damon Matson joined us with the latest check on the forecast on this warm day today in the DMV. Damon, there's still concerns out there?
Well, Mark, we're going to see some rainfall, most likely we already have here this morning, and we could still have a couple of storms later on, but there are some factors working into this forecast, and that is why things have changed as far as the threat for severe weather. Let's talk about it. Looking outside right now, we do have a plethora of clouds. They have been overhead since the sun came up today, and with those clouds sticking around and a lack of sunshine, we're not building up a lot of energy in the atmosphere that would be fuel for storms to develop. Instead, all we've had are just some scattered showers throughout the region over the last few hours. No thunderstorms to be found. And when we take a wider view of this entire storm system, it's still centered back up across parts of the Midwest into the Great Lakes where some rain is falling. And then another batch of thunderstorms produced by this storm system is working across the southeast, but well away from us here in the DMV. So the fact that this storm system is breaking apart, we have clouds keeping things stable, and overall we're just not getting the brunt of this system. There it is. That severe outlook has been dropped significantly with just a level 1 risk across some of our southern counties. Now, I'll detail out when and where a couple of storms could develop later on and what we should expect as we head on into your Friday coming up, and a full look at your forecast here in just a bit.
Happening now, parts of Northwest D.C. are still under a boil water advisory after a water main break yesterday. About 4,800 customers affected by the break. This map shows the areas impacted. The advisory stretches from Chevy Chase down to Tinleytown and Glover Park, as well as Spring Valley to Cleveland Park. D.C. Water says that the water main break is to blame. Crews are working around the clock to get it fixed. Now, it broke out on the 41st and Morrison Streets, and D.C. Water says that it wants to ensure no bacteria or contaminants are entering the system. Some Northwest businesses say that the break is affecting them.
With the advisory, we were told to stop like serving ice in the smoothies, so we had to go out and go buy some ice.
Asking customers not to drink the water without boiling it, not to cook with it, not to brush their teeth with it, that sort of thing. Boil it first for at least a minute before they use it.
Well, D.C. Water says it will lift the advisory after 2 consecutive days of testing shows no bacteria. The agency anticipates that will happen tomorrow. And for a complete list of the areas affected, visit our website, dcnewsnow.com. Now to a new exclusive DC News Now poll just released. It shows Democratic candidates for the United States Senate, Angela Alsobrooks and David Trone, are neck and neck. DC News Now's Yamari Sase is tracking the race from a voting site in Maryland.
Yeah, so this race is expected to be pretty tight, especially when it comes to the Democratic Party for this U.S. Senate seat. Now, based on the poll conducted by DC News Now, Emerson College, and The Hill, 42% of people are in favor of Angela Alsobrooks and 41% are in favor of David Trone. Now, that just shows you how close this race is about to be. Although 12% of voters in this poll say they're undecided, many of them say they're leaning towards Alsobrooks, which increases her percentage to 47% and Trone to 44%. Now, those who are likely but have not yet voted are leaning towards Alsobrooks 41% to 37%. But Trone is in the lead 51% to 45% for those who have already voted. Now, when it comes to Republican candidates, the poll shows Larry Hogan has a support of 56% of voters. Here's how leaders feel about today's poll.
But what's clear in every poll is that David Trone is the only one that can beat Larry Hogan. He's winning at 51%. And so the fact of the matter is, even in the poll that was done, when you look at who voted, they're voting for Trone.
We knew that Trone was going to jump out to a huge lead and that Angela was going to walk him down at the end because her message is for the people.
They're thinking about what really has happened, who has produced and who will continue to produce for Marylanders.
The polls will remain open up until 8 p.m. today when it comes to early voting, and the primary election will be next week, May 14th. We're going to continue to follow these numbers for you and keep you updated. For now, reporting in Waldorf, Maryland, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
All right, Yamari, thank you. Maryland's Senate primary race is a tight one. Morning anchor Corey James talks about the race with Bill Schneider, a policy and government professor at George Mason University.
According to the poll, both Democratic candidates lead former Republican Governor Larry Hogan. In a hypothetical matchup, why do you believe voters are hesitant to support him?
He's a Republican. This is Maryland. Maryland is a very Democratic state. I don't think it's voted for a Republican senator since, Mac Mathias in 1980. It's a deeply Democratic state. And so both of these Democratic candidates who are competing Tuesday in the Democratic primary, when they're pitted against the former governor, Larry Hogan, each of them leads Larry Hogan. He's running for the Senate, of course. That was a big coup, and to me, that was the most interesting thing about this race. The coup was that Mitch McConnell, who's leaving the Senate, the longest-serving Senate majority leader or party leader ever, he persuaded Hogan to run for the Senate in hopes that Republicans could claim a new Senate seat. Right now, Democrats have a majority of precisely 2 senators, I believe, and that would cut the Democratic majority in half and make it much more likely that Republicans could gain a majority in the Senate. Mitch McConnell wants to leave the Senate with a Republican majority, just as he strived to do in his 18 years as Republican Party leader in the Senate.
All right, thanks to Corey James. The West Virginia primary is approaching, and a new poll from Nexstar Media and Emerson College shows the four-way race for the Republican nomination for governor is now very competitive. Attorney General Patrick Morrisey leads with 28% of the vote, followed closely by former Delegate Shelley Moore Capito with 25%. Businessman Chris Miller stands at 19%, with Secretary of State Mac Warner polling at 12%, with 16% still undecided. Political watchers say the final 6 days of the campaign are crucial and decisive.
I think the race between the top 3 is still up to grabs, and it's all about get out. And can you get out your vote? You have people support you, but if they don't go to the precinct and vote, it's really meaningless.
Well, in the U.S. Senate race, Governor Jim Justice was preferred by 54% of Republicans and independent voters, compared to 24% for Congressman Alex Mooney. 22% of the voters still undecided or backing of the candidates. The poll has a margin of error of 4.1%. D.C. police are surrounding George Washington University after shutting down the pro-Palestinian encampment yesterday. But some students worry this is not the end for the protest. D.C. News Now's Liberty Zabala has more on how some are concerned the protest could impact their graduation.
New fencing has been put up around George Washington University here after police cleared out the pro-Palestine encampment, and crews are also power washing graffiti left behind. The George Washington statue covered up, and now students are wondering whether the protests could disrupt their graduation. Pro-Palestinian protesters remain undeterred after police dispersed their encampment. They held yet another rally on H Street last night, many saying their movement will continue. They are calling for a ceasefire in Gaza and demanding the university divest from any businesses that support Israel. DC police says the decision to clear the encampment came after the protests became more volatile. They arrested 33 protesters, mostly for unlawful entry. The university has called the encampment unlawful and potentially dangerous. Now attention is turning to graduation. After other colleges across the country canceled their ceremonies due to the protests, many worry the same could happen here.
A lot of us missed our commencement already back in high school because of COVID. And if we were to lose our commencement to this, I personally would be very, very angry.
Now, the university says that those commencement ceremonies are supposed to go on as scheduled with additional security measures in place. Now, they're expected to take place on May 16th through the 20th. For now, in Northwest D.C., Liberty Zabala, D.C. News Now.
All right, Liberty, thank you. Meantime, GW parents are speaking out after the clash between police and their children. They believe that police treated them poorly when the encampment was cleared. Nearly 80 parents signed a letter to the Board of Trustees condemning university leadership. Some are also calling for GW's Provost Christopher Brace and University President Ellen Granberg to resign.
Because she declined every time to speak with the students.
I stayed in the encampment with the students. They were democratic. They were peaceful.
University has not responded to the letter. Meantime, officials say that protesters were given 6 warnings before police moved in to clear the encampment. They also say that violence started last Thursday when a GW campus officer was pushed and an item was taken out of their hand. In Virginia, Governor Glenn Youngkin is praising the response of law enforcement on several college campuses. He says that students have the First Amendment right to protest, but students must first follow the rules and policies of their schools. State Senator Saddam Salim says that most protesters have been peaceful, and schools should have done a better job making sure that students can express their beliefs.
Give them a space where they can protest in a way that makes sense for the universities, that makes sense for the students, that makes sense for the people involved, so that we don't create additional violence.
Follow the rules and be peaceful, that's fine. But when you cross the line and you begin to build encampments, which are not allowed on college campuses, you intimidate other students, you're trying to disrupt the normal operations of the schools. That will not be allowed.
The governor wouldn't say what role, if any, he played in breaking up the protests. Instead, he said that the police responses in Virginia have been coordinated.